What is Lyme disease for? Is it a nightmare or a blessing in disguise that can help me change the future? What if it can activate the best within me to win the race for my future? My progressive side, transforming the regressive spirochetes in my body so that they serve the true spiritual vision of my highest self. That's the beautiful dream I want to tap into through the power of possibility. But what do we do to get there, to transform corrosive feelings inside, the civil war raging in my body and in our collective body? What do we do with the horrifying feeling inside when we are confronted with what is happening in the world? Surely, nightmares aren't as potent as the organizing powers of intelligence, making our species shine when we see the amazing things we can do together, giving me hope that beautiful dreams will have the last word on Earth, uniting our fractured species together into a united federation of nations, or United States of Earth Type 1 global civilization, where we become a spacefaring species ready to explore rather than wage the last world war. Surely, the best side of America can win the race for our future, where innovation overcomes self-destruction, where the next generation AR device run by quantum computers connected to an AI superintelligence will shift the scales and make the electronics industrial complex first and the military industrial complex come last, where organizing powers of intelligence defeat organizing powers of destruction. With our nuclear arsenal rusting in peace, proving religious fanatics wrong, that the future will be something beautiful and good, not evil, with the Antichrist rising to power and triggering the last battle of Armageddon. Surely the beginning is near, not the end time hellscape of the apocalypse. So what do we do to connect to this power of possibility that will transform our world? We focus on the progressive side, promoting love and peace, not the regressive side promoting fear and hate, trying to set us against each other in a new civil war. Sure, there are regressive elements on both sides, but ask yourself, which is our better half? The left or the right? The feminine or the masculine? Are we better off with business as usual? A 47th white man to join the club of 46 others, only interrupted by the 44th as first president man of color, incurring the wrath of the 45th, calling him an alien outsider, the worst in our nearly 250 years of history? Or will we progress, seeing how right has become so wrong, choosing the first woman president ever? Let's take this true vision and apply it not only to our collective, but to each individual making up this collective, rather than throwing out the baby with the bathwater, as our enemies have done to us, judging our entire nation and even the best side by the actions of the worst, destined for their wrath, recipient of a future war, an attack or blowback against anyone who has wronged them. If we are to prevent the nightmare of civil war, world war, and reach the beautiful dream, we must inspire the progressive side of every individual to prevail over their regressive side. So let's focus on their best side so they can't help but see it and have it transform their internal opposition. There must be a way for progressive Donald Trump and progressive Elon Musk to win over regressive Trump and regressive Elon. Let me begin with Elon Musk and focus on the good things that inspired me so much when he used to be progressive, not MAGA. I loved what he was doing with Tesla in trying to defeat the pollution of the internal combustion engine cars with electric cars that can be powered by the sun. It inspired me to get the best car I've ever had, a Tesla Model 3. And it literally has been a dream having it drive me everywhere and across America multiple times. And I was inspired by SpaceX too, with the dream of a trip to Mars that could transform consciousness of our planet forever and inspire the masculine side of our species to explore, not wage the Third World War. And that's not all. I'm inspired by what Neuralink might accomplish, returning eyesight to the blind, where one of my friends who has been blind since birth now has hope that he will someday finally see. I've been inspired by Elon's progressive statements, such as he's socialist, believes love is the answer, and wants universal basic income for all humanity as a floor to prevent them from falling off a cliff when his other robots and AI start taking the jobs of millions of humans around the world. This is the side of Elon Musk that must win over his MAGA regressive side, promoting Trump and his con, while empowering millions of religious extremists across America and the world who believe God is guiding Trump to fulfill biblical prophecy and usher in the return of Christ at the end of the world.
Jerusalem, where the King of Kings, where a soon-coming king is going to return back to Jerusalem. It's because of President Trump declared Jerusalem to be the capital of Israel.
Elon, what you are doing doesn't make sense in context of your progressive mission. The cognitive dissonance is something I can't digest anymore. Trump denies the climate crisis, has hated on electric cars and alternative energy, while promising to make oil great again. He wants to spend billions modernizing our nuclear arsenal and question why they can't be used.
Several months ago, a foreign policy expert on the international level went to advise Donald Trump, and 3 times he asked about the use of nuclear weapons. 3 times he asked, at one point, if we have them, why can't we use them?
If I were the president, I would inform the threatening country, in this case Iran, that if you do anything to harm this person, we are going to blow your largest cities and the country itself to smithereens. We're going to blow it to smithereens. You can't do that.
The idea you floated in your conversation on X with him, that these weapons aren't as bad as people think?
And Nagasaki were bombed, but now they're like full cities again. So
right,
it's really not something that, you know, so it's not as scary as people think, basically.
This is disturbing in light of how nukes could end our civilization before we have a chance to explore our solar system and visit its planets, to be transformed by the beauty and potential that's waiting for us. We need a commander-in-chief that doesn't send religious extremists into a frenzy, thinking God is guiding Donald Trump to lead Israel and America in a battle against Satan.
This is Jerusalem. World history as we know it is going to end right here.
Greg Laurie is an evangelical preacher, one of several who meet regularly to advise President Trump. They are the leaders of megachurches with tens of thousands of members. And many of them, including Greg Laurie, preach a belief called Christian Zionism. The idea that the return of the Jewish people to Israel is one of a series of events that will trigger Jesus' second coming.
Jesus is telling us that the rebirth of Israel is a sign of the end.
According to this theology, God will reward those who help Israel and punish those who don't.
Could it be that President Trump right now has been sort of raised for such a time as this, just like Queen Esther, to help save the Jewish people from an Iranian menace?
As a Christian, I certainly believe that's possible. I'm confident that the Lord is at work here.
When President Trump approved the drone strike that killed Iran's top military commander in January 2020, it was, according to the Washington Post, at Pompeo and Pence's urging. That evangelical support isn't an accident. The Trump administration courts it. After the administration put out a peace plan that would have given Israel unprecedented control over Palestinian land, the Christian Broadcast Network interviewed Trump's ambassador to Israel.
You're talking about opening up the Bible, bringing it back to life in ways that I think your listeners could not even have imagined.
For evangelical Christians in America, the Bible isn't just a foundational text. It's a prophetic roadmap that tells the future, and shapes the way they view the present. And for an influential group of them, that motivates their support for a foreign policy that they see as affirming those prophecies, and a president who depends on their votes. According to Christian Zionism, if the US wants to be on the right side of biblical prophecy, they need to do everything possible to protect Israel and punish Iran. Today, evangelical Christians are one of the most politically powerful voting blocs in the United States. And in the Trump administration, they've been given unprecedented power. They've turned support for Israel and hostility towards its enemies into core tenets of conservative ideology. And a big part of those policies is rooted in how they interpret the Bible.
This is just horrifying. Please, Elon, connect to your progressive side.
This may sound corny.
It does sound corny,
but love is the answer.
It is the answer.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Take a stand against Trump so my faith can be restored and I can feel inspired again to dream about the implications of what you are trying to do in making our species multi-planetary. You can't deny that this goal must go hand in hand with embracing a Type 1 civilization to make Earth first and Earth great for the first time ever. This isn't compatible with America first and nationalism on steroids. The last thing we want is to turn America into Elysium. It's the same battle today as it was over 150 years ago. Americans who want to treat other people as animals or aliens versus those who want to see them as fellow Americans with human rights that elevate their dignity and worth as human beings. And in the movie Elysium, the empire of the 1% is defeated by the masses when the totalitarian robot drones patrolling Earth are reprogrammed to see every human as citizen of Elysium. This is like America's mission and vision that remains strong in my heart and cannot be defeated even if MAGA takes over. Because America is an indestructible idea that sees our humanity prevailing over evil, where life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is what has held our arms open to the teeming masses of immigrants in a nation of immigrants, inspiring them to become one of us through connecting to the power of possibility. That is us, not building walls, but tearing them down. The best side of us makes us more humane, not more fearful. The best side of us awakens us to see the overview effect, our planet as a single organism, and that the ideals that made us great must now expand across the entire globe, with liberty and justice really meaning all, where out of many we can become one. America didn't step onto the world stage to fight the last battle on Earth with our nuclear weapons. America has been called to greatness by inspiring our humanity with a new dream for our entire planet, where Earth becomes a Type 1 global civilization to explore, not wage nuclear war. We must become the seed for rebirth, not universal death. Love must become our guiding light, not retribution.
I am your retribution. I am your retribution. Not going to let this happen.
I've been fighting chronic Lyme disease for 30 years. This civil war in my body, national body, and global body must end when the healing balm of America's true spiritual vision cures our fever of fear and hate. This is the only thing that can make my enduring this nightmare for so long worthwhile, my hope for the future redeemed. No matter how much I want to say the beautiful dream has healed and transformed my life, what I feel is the opposite. It feels like I'm stuck in a nightmare, living out a corrupt, evil order, sending our nation towards a civil war and eventual World War III, with billions dying around the world and sending us all into a dark age where we have to learn the hard way what we already know deep down inside, that we are one planet, indivisible, that must make liberty and justice true for all. But instead we are being consumed by a lie that we are separate from each other and will not be able to escape the prophecy of our own collective self-destruction. This lie has been eating up my body and mind long enough. Maybe the cure for my Lyme has always been a part of my resistance to declaring war against the lies, eating up the heart of our nation, and holding us hostage from our true power and potential. It is time to defeat these lies once and forever, so we can finally explore the universe without danger of self-destructing. Christ has been used as tool for religious fanaticism and American corruption long enough. It is time to embrace secular Star Trek Jesus, who recognizes every human being of Spaceship Earth as a valued crew member of the Federation, when they can free their spirits from the vice-like claws of a mind virus, leading to a belief in a fascist white Jesus, working for a tyrant father, pulling strings, dooming our fate with the unchangeable revelation of prophecy that can never be rewritten, where good needs evil, with salvation depending on damnation. I end this video with my appeal to the good side of Trump, that he will defeat his sinister side.
Expertman told me to go to Peru and do ayahuasca with his shaman. I thought it'd help with the election, give me that edge. But what happened next, I wasn't ready. I saw it all, greed, lies, my father's lack of love, my mother's coldness. Demons, dark entities, everything I'd buried came rushing out. It was brutal and life-changing.
This is footage of a portion of his UN speech, the only time I've ever been able to resonate with any of his words.
Making a better life for our people also requires us to work together in close harmony and unity to create a more safe and peaceful future for all people. The United States will forever be a great friend to the world in the greatest shared interest of all, a future of dignity and peace for the people of this wonderful earth. This is the true vision of the United Nations, the ancient wish of every people, and the deepest yearning that lives inside every sacred soul. So let this be our mission, and let this be our message to the world. We will fight together, sacrifice together, and stand together for peace, for freedom, for justice, for family, for humanity.
This is the progressive side of him that must prevail over his corrupt side. Please, Donald Trump, take up the path of a true hero, not a sinister villain.
So I left politics to heal myself. I gave away most of my possessions and I went to India, meditated with the gurus, met all the mystics, studied all the metaphysical schools, seeking the truth. I did every therapy, somatic experiencing, breathwork, and parts work. You wouldn't believe the things I tried. I purged everything I thought made me great. Slowly, the suffering started to fade. I started sharing what I'd learned. I created something bigger, holding space for others, an intentional community. And I led with love, guiding people to reconnect with their higher selves. They say I'm the greatest shaman now. Nobody does it better, and maybe they're right. It's a new kind of winning, one where I lead others to peace.